and welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on?
I'm great. I saw that you watched the Sydney Sweeney movie. What is it called?
The Sydney Sweeney movie.
I felt like we had to discuss.
Anyone but you. Yes.
I mean,
we've discussed it on the J Train podcast of whether she's guy hot.
She's guy hot. I think she's
hot.
She's very. I think she's very pretty, but like not in the way that men think. I think she's like attractive, but I'm not like. I think she's more man hot than she is woman hot.
She has the Jessica Rabbit qualities that are like accentuate. The blue eyes, the blonde hair, the buxom, figure. It's all.
This movie was made so that she could be in a bikini for.
Well,
90
I think
minutes.
she's a producer on the movie. If we can look it up, she's a part of production, so to speak. Okay. So she is the kind of the straw that stirred the drink on the movie. And there have been stories about her and Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell. Here's the thing.
Glenn Powell doesn't do it for me.
Really?
I'm not into Glenn Powell.
Is it his lips?
I don't know what it is.
I watched the whole time going, I don't know. I don't like this guy's lips.
I don't like his face. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I understand that he's like a classically attractive person by like standards of beauty.
Right.
But somehow he just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I found him like a little annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
They got him shirtless a lot.
That's what I'm saying. It was just kind of felt like almost like a
getting him in a tux.
Softcore porn movie. It was like,
well,
because the plot was horrible.
The plot was no good.
The acting isn't good. Like you said, comedic timing, not really there.
Well, that was my issue as a comedian. I'll plug City. John Gabris is hilarious. He has a show that he did with Adam Pally, our friend of the pod, a fop. That was like they're boys. They went to like 100 bars across the country. It was on like True TV or something. He's the type of guy that I would expect in a movie like this as a side character to have one scene. He's in
versus some physical comedy. You're saying?
He's in the improv sketch comedy world.
Right.
I'm not in that. I'm in the stand-up world. They mesh. They cross over with one another. But that world is where you go to find an actor. Jonah Hill. And John Gabris and I, because I tagged him after watching the movie. My issue isn't the movie, is that they didn't put anyone around them to be fun.
Yeah.
There was not one funny comedic actor in that movie. And any funny scene, it just felt like they were like, we can do this. Us hot people can do that too.
Right.
And it's like, you can't do it all.
You find it
offensive.
They're appropriating the comedian culture.
I believe that. That's exactly how I felt. Okay. I was like, there's not one person. And also like this whole idea, just because it's a lesbian wedding, now we're being inclusive. I didn't see one body differential.
You didn't think it was body inclusive enough at all.
In a time where everything is like called out. How did this movie, because we want to fuck all of them? Like,
I think that was that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it was like, it did so well. So whatever they did must have worked.
Well, it did. I believe it did well because we want these original movies. They don't get made anymore. This is actually an anomaly in this day and age. An original story, not that original, but like
what was even the plot?
That they don't like each other, and there was no reason for them to not like each other.
Right.
Like she overheard something.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I didn't even
we
think they had that much
rom-com.
chemistry, personally.
They just had. We want a rom-com so badly that we'll take whatever they give us, which is like one a year. I don't know.
What's the last great rom-com you saw? I feel like it's been like 10 years, maybe more.
It's been a while. I don't even know.
Bridesmaids?
I love Bridesmaids.
It's like the best movie.
It's great. It's great. And it's like
it's
relatable.
All, like you said, it's all comedians though.
Right. And it's all like.
And John Hamm.
Right. Who can do comedy well.
Bad.
He does a good job. And that's exactly. That's like the best compliment you can give of an actor who can do comedy.
Right.
There was no comedians that can do acting. I want some of that. Jonah Hill in 40-Year-Old Virgin has one scene where he's holding up shoes at the eBay store. Remember the shoes with the fish in them?
That's very funny.
It's the dumbest throwaway scene. You couldn't have one funny bartender to do a scene with the Australian dad.
Yeah. It wasn't. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, also a very good rom-com.
I'm getting so angry. I thought the one with Ryan Reynolds was good. It had a good turn with Steve Carell. Ryan Gosling.
Crazy Stupid Love?
Crazy Stupid
Love.
Love.
That one wasn't that funny. It was more rom than com.
Okay.
But it was not bad.
But it had a fun story to it. Like the story of it all.
Yeah. The acting was better.
I was watching Ace Ventura. Have you watched Ace Ventura in a while?
Not in many years, but great movie.
Go watch Ace Ventura. I'm like, I think we've lost the narrative on like people. Yeah. Like they age and like people.
I mean, Jim Carrey could carry an entire movie. He could be the only actor in the movie.
I felt depressed. I was like, and I talk about living in the key of me, like being the star of your own movie. Right. I'm watching Jim Carrey being like, I should just quit anything I'm trying. He's so funny. Yeah. He's so good.
He makes even not funny movies funny. Like, what was that movie about the kids whose parents are dead? A Series of Unfortunate Events.
I don't even remember. I never saw that.
The Grinch kills it.
I mean, The Grinch was still doing the memes.
I mean, it's an amazing movie. He I don't even remember anyone else in that movie.
Right.
Anyway, Anyone But You is the best we have in 2024.
Well, no one wants. Honestly, it says something that's like maybe independent investors should start like that's like the why someone should start a movie company, because now we've lost how to make a movie. Like we need Sydney Sweeney to like be in charge to make a movie like that. Well, that's how movies get made.
But those, again, I think the issue is that movie did very well. So if you're in the movie production business, you're like, who cares? Bottom line, done.
Well, bottom line, done, and we'll make the next one. Just let's paint inside the lines. Give me a bunch of hot people and a story that we kind of heard before, and people will eat it up.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I watched it because it was on, but I didn't like it.
Well, I got all the hatred messages, like all the people that were agreeing that hated it. No, I got no.
Oh, good.
And people were like all about like the acting. And it's like if it was the same two people doing the same story with the cast around them being better,
right?
I think the movie could have worked.
Could have. I don't need Sydney Sweeney in a comedy role.
No,
she's good in like Euphoria. That's the perfect role for her.
Right.
Looking hot.
How old is she?
Kind of fucked up. She's like 25, I think.
She 25?
I think.
Please be older.
Yes.
What?
26. 26. And Glenn Powell's like 36 also.
Right. Well, that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the entertainment world is like it's more of a question than an answer at this point. We don't know where it's going, and it's flattened because, social media, like, the attention is a pizza pie.
Yeah.
And some of it goes towards the person you follow on TikTok and Instagram as opposed to but I would love a movie. I'm with you. I want a rom-com.
Same. A good one.
A good one.
Really
just like some thought.
Well, who were the younger comedians that would like be in movies at this point?
I mean, there's so many people that I see out on a nightly basis that I'm like, I don't even think of them. I'm not in that, the world of improv and sketch is more the world of like who would be in a movie. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing Jason Mantzoukas at...
Who's that?
Look him up. You'll know exactly who he is. I remember seeing him do sketch comedy at Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, yeah. Like that guy from Portlandia or whatever?
He's that guy in a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
He's very funny. He's one of the voices.
Sleeping with Other People was a great movie. Probably most recent rom-com. What was that?
We should do a benefits episode reviewing
I
different
love
rom-coms.
that movie with Alison Brie.
I'm a huge Alison Brie fan.
She's funny. She's
good in comedy.
The art of being both hot and funny somehow.
Right. Yeah, she does. She's married to Dave Franco.
Yes, I remember that.
Who I met in a bar before he was Dave Franco. He was James Franco's brother. I met him at Off the Wagon in the West Village like a decade ago.
I feel like he's one of those people who looks the same as he probably did a decade ago.
Absolutely. And then he was going to be in 22 Jump Street or 21 Jump Street. He was like a side character. They're like, he's going to be, and he's good in that. Yeah. I remember meeting him. I think we might have done shots.
I like him more than James Franco personally.
Yeah, I mean, has James Franco been divisive? I mean,
I think he's
divisive now, right?
A bit.
Who knows? It's hard to keep track. I gotta get my list updated.
He was doing something weird. He was like a professor or something at NYU. Yeah, he did something weird with college kids.
All right. Well, the recent Anne Hathaway movie.
Oh, The Idea of You? I disagree. I'm sorry. I just watched that movie. Anne Hathaway annoyed the shit out of me. I could not stand her in that movie.
So there was some talk of
people
The Idea of You, the premise
It's like Anne Hathaway has like a teenage daughter, and she brings her to like Coachella, and she meets a boy band guy, and they start dating, but she's like an older woman, even though she looks like she's 30.
Right.
Because she looks incredible. Yes, it's supposedly about Olivia Wilde and Harry, like based on the Olivia Wilde Harry Styles thing, but not really, because Olivia Wilde is famous, and Anne Hathaway was playing someone who was like owned an art gallery.
Interesting. I'll watch it.
You should watch it to make fun of it. I think you'll hate it, just like me.
Maybe I'll watch it on the flight to Cannes.
Yes.
As
I'm sure it's on.
I hope so. Well, that's why I watched Anyone But You. I was like, they had no live TV, and I was going to watch the Celtics.
Great plane movie.
Great play. Yeah. It was nice to have on. I mean, I bailed in and out. Mm-hmm. It made me angry. I
got annoyed too. I got annoyed that people liked it so much. It bothered me.
I really think it's an appetite for like, we want original fun movies, and everything now that's original is sad murder documentary.
I like those too, though.
Right, but like I think we need the entertainment pie needs to get filled, and I think it's too much risk to make something new. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't be that much risk, because the camera, like, production costs less. I don't know.
I'm just trying to think who you'd put in it. Like, who are the young, funny people?
I guess Marcello is on SNL. Marcello, Zoe Deutsch.
Yeah, she's been in some bad movies recently, too.
Listen,
the one where she fakes her own social media situation or something. Oh yeah, all of these movies are the best we have, but very, very bad. So.
Listen, we got to start recruiting. We got to send you out in the Betches limo.
Yes, like I need to do the casting. I need to do the casting.
Out in Times Square, dressed as Elmo. That's how you found me. Let me do an update before we jump right in.
Okay.
I got a message that I think will help all of our listeners. I want to make sure we're helpful. This is a listener, and she said, just listen to one of your latest podcasts talking about wearing seatbelts in an Uber.
Okay.
So this is something where
we both said we don't really wear them in the back seat.
Right. And
we didn't say it was cool, though.
I didn't say it was cool to wear one, though.
Right.
So
we didn't say it was uncool either.
Guess I'm the nerd here, but I actually exclusively represent Uber and car accident lawsuits.
Okay.
If you get in an accident and aren't wearing your seatbelt, depending on the state's comparative fault laws, your damage recovery could be either cut in half or barred completely, because you'd be found at fault for not wearing your seatbelt. A message like this
is interesting to know.
You know, when you talk about
also you don't want to die, that's another
right. Well, but death is not on our minds. Right. Obviously, we think we're above death. Mm-hmm. That is cocky. I am. Right. Yeah. We're going to be young forever. We're never going to die. The money's going to just keep coming in. Mm-hmm. You know, we think highly of ourselves. This is one, it is funny. How do you convince people to do things you want? You know, how do you convince someone when someone comes up to me and goes, you're going to burn if you don't put on suntan lotion. I go stare directly into the sun. I go, fucking burn me. Go, because I want to tell that person, go fuck themselves.
You don't want to be shamed.
Right. When this person comes in and says, hey, if you get in an accident and you get injured, you might get no money. Like, that actually sticks with me.
Right. Something to think about.
It's something to think about. Yeah. Like, I do want to be able to, so to anyone out there. The more you know, you'd be fined at fault for not wearing a seatbelt, not to be a Debbie. You're not being a Debbie Downer. You're just informing. To me, it's funny, who considers themselves a Debbie Downer and who doesn't.
Right.
Like, wear your seatbelt so you can feel better than me.
Also,
is
that's
annoying.
the kind of thing where if you're preempting it with that, you're probably not.
Right.
That's good to know.
Good to
know.
I'll
keep that in mind.
That was something, and honestly, I read that while on the toilet, and I thought to myself,
did you wear a seatbelt?
I put it on right away.
Oh wow. Oh, on the toilet. Yeah.
It's nice to have seatbelts.
I might think twice.
I'm gonna think twice.
Yeah.
So to the listeners, that's why I wanted to tell the listeners and the viewers on YouTube. But anything else? I mean, what else we got?
We're going to Cannes.
We're going to Cannes, and when this comes out, we'll be
there.
We'll be in Cannes.
Yeah.
We'll take our cans around Cannes. I'm
Cannes?
excited. How do you
Cannes,
feel?
Right?
Cannes or Cannes? Cannes.
It's one of my goals is to find out while we're there how you say the name of the city.
Well, why is Cannes not?
It just doesn't sound very
nice,
French.
and Cannes is not Cannes. Isn't that confusing?
It's all confusing.
This conversation might not go well with French people while
we're gonna
in
sound
France.
not the most elite. Do you remember Maddie would like
Maddie's
was like a French major or
yeah.
something? Yeah, and she would constantly critique our French.
You're gonna walk over to me and I'll be talking to John Legend, who's going to be there, and you're gonna hear me going, "Why is Nice not nice and Can not con?"
And he's gonna be like, "Security."
Right. Get this idiot away from me. Otherwise, if you're out there, I'm going to be in Nashville next week. So I'll be going on that famous Nice to Nashville flight that we all know and love. And then I'm coming to West Hampton, Cleveland, Sacramento, Newark,
Do you have somewhere to
Atlantic
stay?
City. I got somewhere to stay.
Oh,
We'll
you
be
got
okay.
work. Okay, you're good.
Cost me an arm and a leg. I'm performing so I can...
You're telling jokes
doing the dishes
to the
afterwards.
hotel staff.
Right. Please let me live in the broom closet. Yeah.
I mean, with the Hamptons prices over the summer, I wouldn't blame you.
I shave the beard if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh yeah, your mom shamed you into it.
Listen, I don't know who I thought I was. I went to Boca and visited my parents. If you talk about commentary on your beard, I mean,
Your parents or everyone?
parents, friends. Beard. It sounded like I was like, what's the shame?
Well, it's like the elephant in the room a little bit.
I was the elephant.
You must have been very hot.
I didn't get hot from it, but literally my dad goes, you go, what are we doing a beard? You were a little bit less direct. My dad goes, no one likes it. Not one person has said they like it. Why would you do something no one likes? That was the whole speech he gave
Are
me.
they talking about you or a girl you dated?
Why would you date someone no one likes?
What?
What?
All right.
Let's jump right in. What are we talking about
do
today
it.
other than movies?
I'll read our first email.
Keep
by the
sending
way.
your emails, uup@betches.com. And by the way,
If you guys would like to discuss our episodes, give your input on the topics that we're talking about in an episode, go to the Instagram page, u.up.podcast. And every week we'll have it pinned, our episode of the week, and you can discuss it with all the other crazy people on Instagram.
right. I think that's fun. Like, whatever your choice is. Some people are crazy people on YouTube. Some people are crazy people on Instagram. But we're involved in the conversation there, too. This conversation continues on the mediums. So if you're on YouTube, we love the... I'm in.
You're all over YouTube.
I'm all over YouTube comments. Instagram, I'll get in there, too. I'll put my sleeves up. I'll be a keyboard warrior.
I'll get in there, maybe.
Get in there.
I'll
Jordana,
tiptoe in there.
Tiptoe in. Well, we'll watch from the beach in Cannes. We'll weigh in.
We will. I'm more of a lurker usually, but maybe I'll participate.
There we go. That's enough to get people to write.
I'm lurking.
Maybe we'll participate.
I'm lurking. Always lurking.
If you're writing,
I'm reading all your comments. Here's the thing.
Jordana's reading.
I read every single comment that's ever been written about me or anyone that I've ever encountered. I don't comment that much on my own, but maybe I will get into there.
I think that's a smarter way to go. But I think it's fun to read them.
Yeah.
I like to hear what people weigh in. When they're thoughtful, I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Again, the Uber seatbelt.
Yes.
I'll
never forget that.
I'll never forget that. And great point. Thank you.
Yes.
You didn't wear your seatbelt? What are you, an idiot? That's not how you tell people to do things.
Right.
Hey, if you were ever to get in an accident, you wouldn't get any money in the settlement. Oh.
I think you just solved debates in this country.
Jared Freed.
For president. Single platform.
There is not a job I wouldn't want less than president.
Being president? There's jobs I would want less. I wouldn't want to do it, but I also, it's kind of cool.
Run the country.
Yeah. And then when you're done, you do it for like 8 years tops. And then you just like go around giving speeches for money for the rest of your life.
Well, some would say that's the problem. It's like,
I guess it's like being on The Bachelor.
Right. It is.
You put in your time and then you never work again.
Yeah. You're like one of the Hunger Game
winners. Like, what do they do after they become president? They're not like going back to being a senator.
No.
You're like tapped out.
They
basically.
get to like chill as they should. I think that job seems horrible.
Probably takes many years off your life. But I'm saying afterwards, you do a couple commencement speeches, do your rounds.
Did you see the guy running for president in France is like 28?
Really?
Young, good-looking dude.
Interesting.
A Glenn Powell type.
Is he starring in the next rom-com? Anyone but you two?
Anyone but, he could. What are we talking about?
All right. Hi, J&J. Thank you for the entertaining yet educational podcast, Feather Feather. I'm a 30-year-old woman who just got out of an 8-year relationship.
She's back on the scene.
I have
22 to 30.
Yeah. That's you missed a critical period of time.
You've been out of the game.
Yeah. I have not dated much, but I did have a few hookups. I noticed I was not getting phone numbers the next morning, but didn't think much of it. A month ago, I met someone through work friends, and we coordinated a date through Instagram DMs. I enjoyed getting to know him and had a great time. A week later, we went out again for drinks, and then went back to his place where we fooled around. Ooh.
Okay.
A day or two later, I went to message him, but realized that after both hangouts, I had given him my number, and he never reciprocated with his number. Yet he suggested another hangout via Instagram.
Okay.
I could understand if it was an oversight the first time, but twice seems intentional. I'm very put off by this, especially after we hooked up. That seems more intimate than exchanging numbers. I know he is not hiding me from anyone because we have too many mutual friends, and I'd know if he's in a relationship. Moving forward, I have not reached out after the last invite, which I declined due to being busy. My work friends think he's playing it cool, but to me that feels too cool and bordering on playing games. I don't want to date someone who will keep me at arm's length because he can't be vulnerable, so I've decided this isn't something I'll continue to pursue. Is this just not the match, or am I being unreasonable? Any guesses on why guys don't share numbers easily? Is he not interested, or is this normal? For context, he's 26 years old. Could it be an age thing? I look forward to hearing what you think about this.
I love this email because it lives in the land of it lives in the world that can only be discussed via podcast, via conversation,
That
nuanced,
yes,
context. Because anyone, like I posted a thing on Instagram. I probably talked about it last week, I think, about how it was a woman taking a picture out on the West Side Highway. Beautiful woman, gorgeous dress. They're putting out a picnic, sunset, and the friend was taking pictures of her.
right.
And I don't know what the pictures were for, but I looked at the pictures and I go, I took a video and I go, look at this. This woman is taking the most beautiful dating app picture. It's thoughtful. It's nice dress, makeup done, sunset, all the color scheme works. And men are putting up and this shows you the difference between the work a woman will put into her dating life versus a man who puts up a picture of him dressed as Dwight Schrute from 4 Halloweens ago.
Right.
It was a commentary on dating using this woman taking a nice picture. I don't know what it was for. And saying that, like, you're putting in this effort, just know that same effort isn't going in on the other side. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because the comments that came in from, as I would describe these men to be Rogan alpha bros who wanted to disagree with the post, was their disagreement was, oh, so a produced picture is better than someone being natural in themselves?
Right.
To try and take down the idea of a woman putting effort into her dating profile. Mm-hmm. And I relate that to this because we are now in another subject where this person can always say to you, this woman writing in is right. Everything happens for a reason. He didn't give you his number. He hasn't gone from Instagram to your phone. It is weird. You are right. You are, and it's happening for what could be a number of reasons. Anyone could look at this woman and be like, you're thinking too much into it. You're being unreasonable. We're just having fun. Who cares? It's just Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I would say to her, go with your gut.
Go with your gut. Because
this is the same thing as people giving their Snapchat and not their number.
Right.
This is the same thing as I had a great time and they keep texting you, but they don't make a plan. There's a reason for everything.
Do you think it has anything to do with his age? So she's 30 and he's 26.
No, I don't think
Nothing?
A 26-year-old
doesn't know that if you're interested in someone, you get their number.
This guy and I have been on the same social media. We know the same clock ticks in our heads. The same. I don't believe that this, and he could always cut me out of the knees. He can always say, no, you're too old. You don't get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. I kept people on Instagram because Instagram's the land of fun.
Right.
The land of floozy.
Yeah.
Instagram we're just chilling. Instagram DMs, I'll reach out when I reach out.
I don't think he's
Also, read receipts are on in most people's Instagram DMs. So he can be in control of the conversation more than he can be in control over the text conversation.
Would you say he's playing games?
I would say there's a game being played, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you?
Well, what's his an end goal here? Keep it casual?
He has no end goal. He has not thought of the end. He's only thought of the current. So this guy...
So what's his thought process?
His thought process is, I got a lot of friends in common, as she said. Lots of mutual friends, lots of people in common. I met someone through work friends. So work friends are involved.
Okay.
So for him, this is a high risk thing that he's trying to keep less risky. And when you keep it on Instagram, you don't exchange numbers. How serious could we be if we don't even have each other's numbers? How serious could we be? We've never even texted.
So what should she do here?
I also think she handled this in a way that was not direct. I like that she had feelings about it, owned them, and said, I'm moving on.
Okay.
But if I were her, I think it's okay to go on a date with a guy through DMs, get done with it, say, we should do this again. He reaches, here's my number so that we have each other's numbers.
Right.
He reaches out over DM and you say, hey, shoot me a text.
Right.
I'm not going to do DMs. I wouldn't think of that person as being difficult, unreasonable. Can you imagine? Well, bring it to your peers.
Right.
If you went to your friends and was like, can you believe this guy? Can you believe this guy?
Same thing with the guy who messaged you over an app.
Right.
If he doesn't get your number and he's messaging you over an app, I would say, you have my number.
Right. You have my number.
Right.
Let me know. Make a plan and I'm in. You can be direct and positive.
Right.
I think there's this thing of like, if I'm direct with someone, I'm being too much or too difficult. No, you can make a choice to be direct and positive. You can be direct and not be calling people out. All these people giving advice, call them out. Should I call them out? No, go fuck yourself. They owe you nothing.
I agree. I think it's tough for people to be direct without being angry or coming off angry.
Right.
But I agree. That's the way to do it because that's the most empowering way to do it. It's like, here's what I want. I'm friendly. If you give it to me, great. If not, I'll see you never.
Right. If not, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's where
that's what I'm saying. Less charged.
Right.
Right.
Hey, I don't do DMs. But I was happy to make the date over DM. That's not really how I want to continue this conversation. I am totally pumped to see you again. Shoot me a text, make a plan, and I'm down. I can't see anyone having an issue with that. And so much of like when I speak about my dating life and when people write in about a guy, I'm like, what would smoke me out?
Right.
And then I'd have to go, do I want to text this person? Then I'd start texting and they've just asked, make a plan and I'm in. What else could I fucking have to talk to them about?
Right. Which is, again, why it's a win-win for you to just ask for what you want.
Right. But I like that she was turned off. She's like, I think what happens a lot with people who are fed up with the dating game, so to speak, they'd rather just toss it away than hear the answers.
Right.
Or hear the side answer. Like they either want toss it away or chop off my head. I'm going to either call them out or I'm going to not even deal with it. And I do think there's an in-between.
Yeah. I'm saying, and that's calling someone out in a friendly way.
Right.
Yeah.
Direct with positivity.
Yes. Not angry.
Right.
Just asking for what you want.
Because he doesn't owe her anything. He's made a lot of false promises.
Yeah.
That she doesn't even know are false yet.
Yeah, and I think the only way the age plays into it is she is a little older than him. And maybe he's not looking for something serious. He's looking to keep it casual. And I think the age, I wouldn't think the age is like, oh, all 26-year-olds only message you through Instagram. I think it's more like a 26-year-old guy compared to a 30-year-old woman might be less interested in pursuing something serious and long-term.
Right. He's not thinking of well, that second date's got to be within the next couple of weeks if we're actually going to keep this going.
Right.
He's like, no, that's just another person that I went out with and fooled around with and they're in the group.
Right. Exactly.
The people I fool around with.
Well, that's what So I'm saying it's not personal in that way.
That's why I was the idea of him thinking of the end. He's 26, not thinking of the end, thinking of the current.
Yeah.
I got this group of women who are fun. Saturday night. Hey.
Right. Smoke them out.
You can smoke them out.
We'll find out. All right.
Go to the smokehouse. My dad this weekend, he called a woman a smokehouse.
Instead of a smoke show?
Yes.
A smokehouse.
It was a great
She reeked of cigarettes?
He goes, Peyton Pritchard's girlfriend's a real smokehouse. I go, smokehouse? She's not an Arby's sandwich.
Smokehouse barbecue.
Let's do another email. Awkward encounters. We love the awkward
Love
encounters.
an awkward encounter.
Keep sending them in. And weigh in on YouTube. Is this awkward to you?
Yes, or Instagram.
FYI, little long. Okay.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, smokehouses. J&J, I'm a dedicated subscriber, longtime fan of the show. I saw Jared in Pittsburgh in 2022. He even got drinks with me and my friends after the show.
Do you remember this person?
I
No.
don't. Jared's show was amazing. He was hilarious and made my year to be able to hang out with him after the show. I've got a story that's been burning a hole in my heart since it happened, and I need your help ASAP because I don't know what to do.
Well, come
Here
to
we
the
go.
right place.
So here's the scoop. I live in Florida, and my friend, quote unquote, John, lives in Pennsylvania. I've been friends with John since the 7th grade. We've had our ups and downs, mostly ups. Fast forward to beginning of May, when we just spent 5 epic days together at a board game competition in Nashville. Nerd alert!
That's so cute.
It is the cute. A board game competition in Nashville?
I love board games. I would be there.
You are a board game
I do love board
enthusiast.
games. Yes.
I would be cool with a board game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you would go to a board game
Not
convention
Nashville.
in Nashville.
No. I
Would you go to one in New York if it was next to your apartment? No.
Probably not.
No. You'd say you were going, and then you'd be like, I forgot. I've got a thing.
I was busy sitting on my phone at a bar alone.
Yes.
Everything's
Like a cool person
right.
does. Yeah.
Us winners. Everything seems normal until the moment he drops a bombshell. He wants us to be more than friends. Talk about unexpected.
Come on.
Stop being so surprised.
Yeah.
That annoys me. Okay. I like this person, though. John and I have been through a lot together from high school. He was 2 grades above me, though, and we met through my sister. College classes to road trips. We've always had each other's backs. We've been friends through each other's relationships. He recently ended his relationship with her at the beginning of this year. He was with her for the past 2 to 3. And in March, he spent 2 weeks with me in Florida to get his mind off the breakup and hang out.
2 weeks with her? Like, staying with her?
I guess so. It was great having him around, but I never saw our friendship as anything more than that. I've been single for the past 3 years.
Can you imagine a single female friend staying you for 2 weeks and that never even being a thing that would
Cross
your mind? You're 2 single people and they're staying with you for 2 weeks?
I guess the history helps it, like the idea that they've known each other since high school. But it is
It's a
weird.
long time to stay with someone without it ever crossed. I'm not saying it'd be like so obvious you'd hook up, but I think it would be weird to have never crossed your mind.
Right. To have no idea. I can't understand the idea of someone like as a guy, just like hanging around, the time.
Right. It's a long time. Anyway.
John and I have been through a lot together. We went through that. It was great having him around, but I never saw our friendship as anything more than that. I've been single for the past 3 years. When he confessed his feelings, we were at the airport in Nashville, and he did it as he was boarding his flight back home. This is Anyone But You. This should have been the movie.
Yeah.
I was blindsided.
Right after the game.
Right.
Board game convention.
The board game. That could be a fun.
Yeah.
That's where all the funny people are, at the board game convention.
A lot of cast of characters there. We just wrote a movie. She just wrote a movie.
Hey, Hollywood, we're here.
We're ready to be cast.
Ring, ring, Mr. Hollywood. Got a movie hit for you. Okay. We've been pals for years, and suddenly he wants to change the dynamic. It left me feeling confused, frustrated, and honestly a little angry. I'm pansexual. I know I'm attracted to someone based on who they are as a person, not their gender. For this reason, I view friendships with the opposite sex as not a big deal because it's either I'm attracted to them or not. But for me, it's been a no for John for a while now. Ooh, right to the heart. I've never considered him in a sexual way.
Well, that phrase is annoying to me because she's only talking about what she thinks.
Right. For
like
her,
you're not the only person on the planet.
I'm with you. I agree. The idea that like she can tell someone how to feel.
Right.
Is something she would never want someone to say to her.
Like, how could you do this? I would never think of you that way. Well, it's like you're not the only person in this dynamic.
Right. We all have to succumb to the the idea that like, well, we're friends and
Right.
I'm attracted to you. Why wouldn't we make this?
Right.
We have to be okay with that being a possibility on the
Totally.
bingo board.
Yeah. I mean, it's also not like she's saying she's a lesbian.
Right.
She's not like, and he's a man. It's like she's saying, I'm attracted to the person. How could he think I would be attracted to him?
You?
It's crazy.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. John's a great guy. He's caring, fun. We share a lot of interests. Right. If you say that about someone go, well, would you ever think about it?
Right.
No. You'd be like,
gross.
okay, well,
What?
Right. But when it comes to relationships, we're just not on the same page. He's still finding his way, living at home, working on his music, which is cool. But it's not what I'm looking for in a partner.
Which is cool.
She's nice and mean in the
Right.
same.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a little
like
condescending.
a little bit. Like, oh, you live at home and you're working on your music.
Right. Cool for you.
Fun for you, yeah.
Not someone I would ever date.
Or fuck. What really got me upset was the timing and the lack of consideration for my feelings. I felt like he didn't truly know me despite our years of friendship.
That's very funny. She's like, if you really knew me, you'd know I would never like someone like you.
Right.
You don't even know me.
Right.
Imagine using that in a breakup that you had with a woman. Being like, you don't even know, you think I'm interested in this? You don't even know me.
How could you? If you didn't know I was going to dump you, that's why this didn't work out.
You don't even know me.
Right. It left me feeling more objectified than appreciated. I think she's getting a little deep here.
I agree.
She's a little
starting
in the
to annoy
weeds.
me.
Yeah. Like he only saw me as someone he could have sex with. He spent 2 weeks with you and went to a board game competition convention with you. He was playing the long game to fuck you. This
is crazy.
He took the chutes and ladders route.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. No,
I agree.
I disagree. Not as a person with my own wants and needs. Well, he has wants and needs that he's checking in with you to let you know that if you felt these same wants and needs.
He's not demanding anything of you. He's telling you how he feels.
Right.
That's why this seems like, I don't understand why she's getting angry.
And also, he's coming to the conclusion of like his feelings on you and telling you that because of the whole of you. Right. You know, the idea that this is for one fuck, you've kind of minimized his feelings.
Right.
Like he looked at you and went, someone I get along with, someone I want to go to board game conventions.
Thought it through, yeah.
I'm attracted to them. The more I think about them, the more attracted I am.
Right.
That is why he's coming to you with this
totally
out of the closet thing.
An in-person to-your-face confession. It's not like he texted you at 3 a.m. being like
drunk, right?
Like, I want to hook up.
Yeah.
To me, that would be like rude.
Right.
This is actually the most considerate way to do it.
Right. That's being frivolous with years of friendship.
Right.
This is actually thoughtful.
Exactly.
Saying it on the way out. Listen, I'll give empathy to how difficult this is to talk to someone that you have years of friendship with.
If I were her, I would appreciate that. Then you have a chance to think about it.
Here's the other thing. Here's what he didn't do. Hey, now that we're in Nashville, this fun board game convention, I love you.
Right. Now let's spend a week and a half together. Yeah.
And then at the end go, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I think this is the best way to have done it, actually.
Right. He did this with nothing to gain other than you.
Yes. And then he leaves.
Think
and then
about it.
Right. You don't have to be like making any decisions in that moment.
I'm stuck in this weird limbo. And I think what she's getting angry about is like, one, was this all a lie? Every conversation.
Okay.
Did I know? I guess to empathize
But why
with
is it a lie if the person likes you?
Well, I guess like, were they acting the way they would have
had feelings for me?
If they didn't have feelings, I don't know.
I think she's more angry that now she's got a chore to do. Like, now I gotta fucking dump you.
Right, and I have to like lose you as a friend. You know, like
I guess even if I don't even know if that's the part of it because she doesn't seem to be making. Oh, we'll finish it, but I don't think she seems to be making any efforts to conserve the friendship.
No.
So I think she's more annoyed that now she has to be the bad guy.
Right.
It's like someone like drags you into a dinner and then you're like, now I have to tell you I don't want to go to the dinner when I didn't even say I wanted to go anyway.
I'm stuck in this weird limbo of not wanting to hurt his feelings, but also not wanting to really speak to him again.
So I'm saying she's not, doesn't seem to really care about the friendship at all.
It's a tough spot to be in, and I could really use some advice. See screenshot attached of what he sent in the wake of this of his confession. Okay, I'll be him. Ready?
Okay.
This is his text, and it was at 7:35 p.m. I hope you had a safe flight. That's what I hope you have a safe flight. I'm going to give you a call at 9. Then at 9:51, so that was 7:35, 9:51. I'm sorry. In hindsight, I definitely see where I could have done that in a better way. Take all the time you need. If you want to talk, I'm here. I think he's getting no answer.
Right. I don't know what she doesn't say what they said on the call. I guess maybe she said what she.
Oh, she told us.
I guess.
Oh, so they had a call. Then he texted, "I'm sorry."
Yeah,
because
I guess
she kind of told him that.
Seems like she was mad at him.
Right, which we disagree with.
Yes.
I ended up ghosting, but my friend has texted me again. Okay, so this is now a month later. He texted again.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
And this is a long one. So to go back through the timeline, he's leaving Monopolyville.
After a week of nonstop Monopoly deal.
Right.
He
I love you.
says
I need you.
Right, yes.
I want you a part of my life. She gets angry. He calls her. Then he apologizes. She goes. And now
and
a
month
goes
later.
by.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to give you some space and let you process everything, but this is killing me. I am sorry about how I went about expressing my feelings. I never meant to put you on the spot or give you anxiety. If I could go back, I definitely would have done things differently, but I don't regret saying something to you. I do honestly believe that if I got on that plane without saying something to you, it would have been one of my biggest regrets. If you don't feel the same way, that is perfectly fine, but I really hope it doesn't ruin our friendship. You are truly one of my best friends, and I really miss talking to you. Sorry I have so much more to say, but I'm trying my best to keep things brief. I'd really like to talk to you on the phone about everything or through text if that would be easier for you. I was also really looking forward to coming down in July to see you, but I don't know if that's something that you still want. We could talk about things in person if you still want me to come down, but if not, that is also perfectly understandable. I feel very in the dark about the whole situation, and I'd like some clarity on the matter. Again, I'm really sorry if I hurt you and made you upset. It truly was never my intention. I want you to know that regardless of your response, it will be met with respect and understanding. I can't really...
I feel bad for this guy.
I know, and I can't really think of a better thing for him to write. And I
also think that, like, I think this is a very nice thing for him to write, considering he didn't do anything wrong.
Right. And I agree with you. And she's almost created this text.
She sort of made him into a monster when I think he's anything but.
And he's still dealing with it.
Yeah.
And she let him, without talking, she kind of did him the disservice. You know, when people ask for closure,
right?
I think this is kind of what I'm not a big closure guy, but if someone says, I feel something for you and we have this long friendship,
right?
And then you say you're wrong for telling your feelings to me, I'm angry about it, and then you ghost, you've kind of let this person with a mess they don't know how to...
I just think it's mean.
Yeah.
And it shows that you've never gave a shit about the person either. Because at the very least, you'd want them to feel, even if you weren't, no one says you have to be with the person, but I think you could just... You don't have to villainize them for how they feel.
Right. Right. They're allowed to have feelings, and they're allowed to, like...
I'm imagining this like the other way around. If this was like a woman who confessed her feelings for a guy and then he just like got angry at her.
Well, I think of it in terms of a breakup. Like, I don't, like, listen, when I've ended things...
You usually yell at people and tell them they shouldn't have... If they truly knew you, then they wouldn't have told you... They wouldn't have been interested.
Right. Right. But that's kind of the point, is like, if I've edited things, anyone could say, well, he did it this way. He did it over text or over FaceTime or over in person, not in person, whatever it was.
Sure.
The ending is the beginning of the ending. If that person on the other side of the ending said to me, okay, you've said your piece. Now let me come back to you and tell you how I feel, get some questions answered. I'm there for that. If you disappear on that, you're kind of not letting that person get the answers to, like, left to their... You're making that person left to their own devices. And your own devices always go negative, always go self-conscious, always go to, like, the worst places. And that's kind of what this guy's been dealing with for a month.
Yeah.
A month of, oh my God, I've done something wrong.
Right. And she doesn't care how he feels.
Right.
To me, she doesn't care about him at all, even as a friend.
She writes,
if you cared about someone, even as a friend, you would answer this text.
Right.
But let's see what
she writes. A part of me never wants to write back. I feel hurt by how he said his feelings for me is... I feel hurt by how he said his feelings for me. Is it messed up if I just never talk to him again because I literally don't know what to say? Do I owe a friend a breakup? Is that ghosting or an explanation to them? Best, Ghostly. Oh, not oh. I'm not going to tell you what you owe.
I don't think it's about I think it's like a human decency thing, to be totally honest.
Right. She doesn't want to deal with any discomfort, so she's just
Right.
not dealing with it at all.
And she's saying, like, my feelings are the only ones that were valid. I'm not interested, so I shouldn't have to deal with this.
Right.
And
It's a little stuck up, a little, you're up your own ass.
Yeah, it's very self-centered. It's very selfish. To me, even if you didn't really want to, like, get into it, you could at least make him not feel like a piece of shit, which she's clearly done.
Right. It's
One thing to reject someone, that's fine.
Right.
No
Well,
one's-
like, let's go through the list of what's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay to reject him.
Yes.
It's okay to end the friendship, to say, I need time away from you because I need to, like, know I'm hanging out with real friends.
Also fine.
Also fine. It's obnoxious to just disappear on this person who has, again,
Would you rather them just never tell you this and just think it the entire time?
right. Or I don't know. It's like, it's like having, I'm trying to think of like an analogy of like, things come up, in life, like things come up. Like, what are you going to do? Like, just disappear on everything that comes up in your life? Like, life is going to happen.
Right.
Like, and none of it's expected. This is an unexpected variable in your life, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah. I just think it's a selfish way to go through the world of like, this is an uncomfortable conversation, so I'm just not going to have it.
Right.
I'd rather just pretend the person doesn't exist.
And this person's begging you to like let them off the hook as a decent person. Like.
Right. Which I don't think he's done anything wrong.
No, I don't think so either.
If I were him, I would feel like I dodged a bullet because she seems like a bitch. Being totally honest. I don't like anything about this email. I feel like she seems like she's like.
I'm pansexual.
Completely.
And I can only fuck people that I want to fuck.
Right. Him included.
You.
Yes.
It does sound very much you. You want me?
That's what I'm saying. You thought I would possibly be into you? Now you've made me feel weird.
Right. Why wouldn't he think you're
it's
in
like
it?
gaslighty, I think.
Look at the ego on this guy. 30 years of friendship. Thinks I want to fuck him. Well, who do you want to fuck then?
Yeah, I don't like her.
To me, this is like, we're all in. To me, when you bring up like the name of the sexuality, in this case, to me, it's to like try and convince us that you're somehow in a position that like should be like coddled to.
Right. Again,
This
when your
guy
sexuality
is in the group that you like,
right, which is anyone whose personality you like is essentially the person.
So
yes.
even more so.
Yes.
And this is someone you just spent a week with at a board game convention. We have the same things in common. Like, who else would you go to that with?
Right.
You have to have a lot in common. That is someone you have to like personally to do that with.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
To
I
me,
don't.
like,
I think
his
it's
thought
weirder.
process isn't so flawed.
I think it's weirder of her to think that it's completely preposterous that someone who's heterosexual and they've been very good friends would have any feelings towards her. Just not to believe it 100% that it is happening, but to say that it's completely out of the question
Right.
is crazy. She's so above him that like just thinking about that she's so out of his league that it's insulting.
I could see from her side that her being angry that he's tossed away this real friendship.
She doesn't give a shit about the friendship. She's not even answering him. She doesn't
Right.
care that
Let's
he feels
work on the
that
friendship.
he feels uncomfortable, that he's like anxious about. If she cared about him at all, even as a
Right.
friend, if one of my friends confessed their feelings to me and I cared about them at all as a person,
Right.
I would answer them.
and try and walk them through your thought process and how you see
Right.
them.
If only so they weren't torturing themselves.
Right. And especially to get mad at him for telling you his feelings and then disappear.
yeah,
He gets no
that's
answer.
not someone.
It's
She's
just gonna
ruined the
be-
friend. They were never friends because she never cared about him.
We're sorry it didn't work out.
Sorry, I went hard on her.
It's
She's
okay.
annoying me.
It's okay. Listen, I think this can be helpful. Maybe we've saved a friendship. Maybe we've saved this guy's mental well-being.
Yeah.
And
I
she
think
reaches out and she says, hey, I'm sorry for how, sees the error of her ways and says, You know, in the same way I'm going to put my seatbelt on an Uber.
Exactly.
I can change.
You live and you learn.
You can change.
Text him.
Text him. Tell him. I would even say, I mean, it's so okay to be like, hey, a friendship really can't work for me with someone that has feelings for me. But you've done nothing wrong, and I am flattered that you thought that maybe we could be something. That's not where I'm at.
Now that I know that you feel that way, I just feel a little uncomfortable, and I think I need a break from the friendship.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Something wrong with ignoring someone and being angry at them because they feel a certain way.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
UUP@betches.com. Love a red flag deal breaker.
All right, let's do some red flag or deal breaker.
Let's play the game.
Okay. Hi, J&J. Thanks for all you do. I have a red flag or deal breaker for a guy I've been seeing. We matched on Bumble, but actually went to high school together, different grades. We've gone on a few dates that were generally pretty good. Things are starting to fizzle out, and my biggest issue with the guy is his bizarre texting style. 1, he has read receipts on and will read a text, but then either immediately respond or not respond for 1 to 2 days. 2, his notifications are always silenced. Okay. 3, he will react to my texts and then not respond with anything else until the next day, even when I've asked him a question. So, red flag or deal breaker. They leave you on read or with quick reactions for at least a day, even if you ask a question. Thanks. Left me on, is it red or read?
It's red,
That
right?
left me on red. Sorry.
Yeah, because it would be in the past tense, not to be the grammarian.
I didn't realize, you were an English, you sound like an English teacher.
Look at me.
You're gross. So red flag.
I've become the thing I hate most.
So red flag or deal breaker, they leave you on red or with quick reactions for at least a day, even if you ask a question. Thanks. Left me on red, betch.
I like that they're like, well, it's funny that she's asking. She's like, things are starting to fizzle out.
Yeah. And then he's not answering me.
Right. And it's like, wouldn't it turn you up? Red flag or deal breaker, they're fizzling me out.
Notifications always silenced. I think that's fine. I do that a lot, especially if I'm working, if I'm in meetings, if I'm in
do not disturb more than I am like 90% of the day.
Yeah. That part doesn't bother me.
No.
Read the text and then not respond for 1 to 2 days. That's not a great sign.
Well, I will say there was a long time ago, way back at the beginning of the J Train podcast, we had like I think maybe bringing this back would be kind of a cool thing. I think your whole life changes when you put on red receipts.
Mike has them.
Does it?
Yes.
And it changes the nature of how you guys interact, I'm sure. This is like dropping a variable into a petri dish.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they're on, like it is a strong message to the person that you're texting with. Someone said it was that's what got us on the J Train podcast way back when. Someone was like, I think it's a power move. And there is power to it.
Interesting. It was funny because when we first started dating and he had them on, at first I was like, this is weird. Like, who would do this?
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. But then I actually like really liked it.
Right.
Because it was like, I knew if it wasn't red, then he hadn't seen it yet. So it alleviated, and I was always anxious. So it alleviated some of my anxiety around texting. And
when you have them on, you know that you have them on.
Oh, yeah. So you don't look at stuff unless you want the person to know you've seen it.
Right. So that to me is more communicative, if you think about it. Like, if you really think about it, the read receipt, I would call it a read receipt, but I would left on red. Do you know what I mean?
Con, whatever.
So I think if we had like for her, he will react to my text. He knows he's reacting to your text and not responding because he knows the read receipt is on. So he has to react if he wants to.
Okay.
Because that thing of it's been read is a text being sent, if you think
so
of it.
He's basically doing the extra step of acknowledging.
I have read it so that I can put a period on this conversation. To me, this is a question of, is it a red flag or deal breaker that the person I'm dating is too communicative, if you think about it?
No, he's not too communicative. She said, when I asked him a question, he doesn't respond until the next day. I wouldn't call that too communicative.
Well, he's not, to me, no read receipt leaves things to lying.
Okay.
You get the vagueness of, I don't know if they read it yet. You have the ability to lie. Read receipt, there's no liar's chance.
So you think he's into her?
No. But I just think
I think
if it's on, this is a person who's setting expectations and telling you exactly how they feel.
which is not
hey,
that into
what are we
you.
doing tomorrow? Reddit.
Nothing till the next day. Here's the thing. I have never waited until the next day to answer someone that I really liked.
Right.
Maybe that's just me. I don't want to make a rule based on the way I would react to things. How about you?
Oh, I agree.
Someone you were excited about asked you a question. Would you wait until the next day to answer it?
I would at least say, give me a minute.
Yes.
I don't have an answer
You
to
wouldn't
that.
just not answer.
I'm thinking.
If you gave a shit about the person. I don't think so.
I'm thinking of someone specifically that texted me a question that I've been meaning to get back to. And I need to get back to it.
Haven't answered?
But I didn't have an answer for it. And
Did you
then
say I
left
don't
it.
have an answer?
I didn't. I forgot to. And
Okay.
then, but I'm saying we have a long-standing textual
Right.
relationship but I think it's okay to be turned off by this behavior, but I think the read receipt being on, not a bad thing, because
Yeah.
I think that person is actually more honest than the person with it off.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, here's
You're
the thing.
held to
That's
that.
what I'm saying. He's not playing a game here. He's letting you know he saw it and isn't responding.
Right. But from the other side, I'm not going to tell her how to feel about, she's letting us know it's fizzling. I think it's funny that she's not turned off by the text person. She's turned off by the person.
Right. Which is good.
Good.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
thing to say, I don't like people who answer me the next day. I want someone who answers me the day of when I ask them a question.
Let's do another one. They
Okay.
hate traveling.
Ooh.
J&J, I just got engaged. Yay. To celebrate, I want to share a funny story from my past life of dating. Several years ago, I briefly dated a guy I met through mutual friends. One of the first times we hung out, we were in the car together, and he randomly asked me if I like traveling. I said yes. I don't get to travel as much as I'd like to, but I definitely enjoy it and love seeing new places. To which he immediately said, I hate traveling. I just thought this was bizarre. I get some people prioritize travel more than others, but I don't think I've ever met someone who felt so strongly against it. So red flag deal breaker, they hate traveling.
To me, I don't mind that they hate traveling. I don't like that they got me to got me to ask them if they like traveling. Like he
Right.
brought it up to sort of make his point be known.
Right. It's almost like he was getting in front of it.
Right.
To
do you like traveling?
Right.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
I
like
love
relationships? I hate relationships.
It's a little doth protest too much.
Right.
Like, oh, I love traveling. Do you like travel? Hate, okay. I would be like, why?
Also
I'd have more
right.
questions.
Also for something so universal, be like, do you like music?
Right. What's bothersome about it is
if it came up that he just didn't like traveling, that wouldn't be an issue to me.
right. This is one of those things. It's like, I'd rather do it's to me, I agree with you. He's getting in front of it. He's putting up a wall for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that he just didn't want to be on that date and he's being disagreeable.
That's possible.
Because
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I would do if I was trying to seem like someone no one would want to date.
Right. Because the idea of I don't like the idea I like to travel. I don't like to travel. Both statements stupid to me.
Right. Not interesting.
Not interesting at all. Oh, you like to travel? I don't give a fuck.
It's also just so universal. I
Right.
like music. I like movies.
And there's things about travel I don't like.
Sure.
Flying can suck.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't like waking up in Nice.
Right.
Or Nice.
However,
Con. We don't
Red
know.
read.
Red read.
It all goes here.
Potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Let's do one more.
All right. Okay. Hi, guys. Feather. I have a red flag or deal breaker for y'all. I matched with a guy on Hinge 3 weeks ago, and we've been on one date so far. He sends me a selfie almost every day, a lot of times when he's either at the gym or on a run. Every single picture he sends, he's always wearing the same shirt. It is a very distinctive t-shirt with the logo. Also, when he sends me a selfie at work, he's usually wearing one of 3 polos. It seems like he literally only owns 4 shirts total. Also, he has a very good job, so I assume he has money to buy clothes.
She sent a picture of the shirt. It is an American flag with a pirate ship. Oh, it's Amelia Island?
In Florida. Yeah, it's Amelia Island, Florida.
It's very much a gym shirt.
Yeah.
Very much like an old, got it on vacation, wear it for a run shirt. So I can understand where this is my run shirt.
Yeah. I wear the same shirt like every day when I don't see anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I don't see anyone
I have
shirt.
my like I'm like working from home. I'm in my home shirt that I wear every day.
That is not how I operate.
Different shirt every day.
I wear mesh shorts, nothing else.
Okay.
If I'm
on a Zoom.
on Zoom, I'll get dressed.
Yeah, if I have like a meeting, I have like it's like a shirt. I have a meeting shirt that I like.
Oh, you
wear.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, I get dressed as if like to me like a Zoom, like I'm like I need to be dressed.
To me, the red flag is more that he sends me a selfie every day. That seems like a little much.
Right. It's like false intimacy. It's getting.
I don't want a picture of someone every day.
No.
I want like a picture when there's something to show.
Right. There's got to be a reason for this picture.
Yeah.
I'm taking a run. Maybe if you talked about running on your date, that's the only way that can get me there.
I don't think I'd care if a guy had 4 shirts. I could fix that.
Yeah, that's something you could work with.
Yes.
What if they have a million shirts and they don't wear any of them? Like if I go to a bar and they got a cool shirt, give me the shirt. Hat. Okay. I mean, I think I have too much things.
You have yeah. Well, I mean, we've all been to your apartment.
I was in Boca and one of my
too
parents'
many cutting boards for sure.
A lot of cutting boards. One of my parents' friends was like telling me about their apartment, and I was like, "You're like when they were like single," and I'm like, "That we live the same exact way."
I think every single man lives the same way.
Every single man. And I go, he goes, "No way." I go, "Here's the video," and I sent him the link, and his wife funny. The next day was like, "Oh my God."
That's it.
Same apartment.
So she has 4 shirts. What do you think?
This is like, as we head to Europe, this is kind of a European way of living. Minimalist. It seems like even the women, like they have like 7 items that they mix and match.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Sustainable.
Right. Look at you.
I probably would change the shirt.
Sustainable bro.
I would buy him a new shirt that, again, assuming he wasn't sending me selfies every day, I would buy him a new shirt that I liked, and hopefully he wears that all the time.
Well, here's the other thing. To me, I can smell this shirt.
Yeah, it looks a little stinky.
It looks stinky. Like, get some workout stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's like good workout stuff.
I don't mind 4 shirts if they're 4 good shirts.
Right. If they're like, yeah.
We could do better than this. Red flag.
But he's not a deal breaker.
No, red flag. We did it. We
solved dating again.
Proud of us.
Keep telling friends. Make it your Instagram story. That's a fun way to tell people without having to tell them.
Love
you know, everyone's looking. Everyone's clicking through.
They want to see what you're listening to.
Yeah.
We want to see.
We want to see. Please.
All right.
Comment.
Bye.
Back next week.
The You Up podcast is produced by Candace Maniga and Shannon Sassone. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candace Maniga. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.